All right, day 2 is about resilience. Are you prepared to be extremely resilient when growing your Facebook group? And you notice that we're not talking about Facebook group specifics right now. Day 1 was you have to have 2 of those 3 things. You have to want the reach, you have to want the relationships, you have to want the riches. You should want all 3. If you don't want all 3, and should as in if you really want to maximize your chances of your group exploding, it's because you kind of need all 3. 2 is the bare minimum. So that was day 1. Day 2 is resilient. Growing your own Facebook group, if you're going to do it, why spend 5 years trying to struggle to grow it, is what I told myself when I started January 15th, 2023. I was like, screw that. And I'm taking expletives out, swear words out. I kind of like swearing, but for the public, I'm just taking some swear words out. So I was like, if I'm going to do it, why not just do it? Why take 5 years to do what you can do in 1 year? Why delay? Why not just go in and get resilient? Because the growth, the payoff is exponential, I've found in life, when I just commit every darn day doing it. Not, well, twice a week, I'll do it. Content twice a week. Yeah, that's a great way to have a group grown in 5 years. Content every day, or at least 5 or 6 days a week. So resilience, are you someone that is prepared to be resilient? Who cares about what you've done in the past? This is a new day. The past is gone. Are you prepared to be resilient? That's what I asked myself when I started this. I was like, I got to give this a full year because I got no coach. I got no systems. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just going to jump and I'm going to be resilient. I'm going to go all day long, every day for a year. And I hope and pray to God this works. I just felt I was supposed to do it. So if you are someone that knows you're supposed to grow a Facebook group, you don't know how to do it, that's okay. Everything I'm going to tell you in these 30 days, you can do on your own. You don't need a coach. I also offer a Catapult program. Multiple different tiers for those that want a coach, that don't want to have to do all their own content because we do it for you, that want a guarantee of their group getting to 6 months, 1,000 people in 6 months, or 3,000 a year. You can have that option. That's a paid option. You get to learn all the lessons I learned, and you don't have to go through all the painful stuff I did. But if you don't have the money, or you don't want to spend the money, or you just want to do what I did because my hand was forced, then just follow these tips. So number 2 is resilience. Are you prepared to be resilient at all costs? Doesn't matter if you're sick. Doesn't matter if your leg's broken. Are you prepared to be resilient? Because what's going to happen when you show up resilient in your Facebook group, people are going to take notice and go, wow, Jenny keeps showing up every day. And they're like, they know they don't show up every day. And you're going to stand out. And guess what? When you stand out, people notice. And there's going to be a lot of things I get into in the content of the 30-day tips here of how to set yourself apart so you're not like everyone else. You do not want to be like everyone else. You want to stand out in this sea of people. So examine your own heart and go, who cares about the past? If you got resilience wins stacked up and you know how to go all in, no excuses, there's a good chance you can do this. If you've not had resilience, all in wins prior, okay, maybe that's unfortunate, but you could still do this because the past isn't even real. In my mind, it's like it's only real if I keep dragging it up and bringing it into my present. Then it's real. But other than that, I don't even think it's real. So it's all about resilience. So as you consider your Facebook group, and we're stepping into 2024, I've heard it said, is going to be this major year for people that want it. Do you want it? Do you want it bad enough to face yourself? That's what I do this year, is face, not that I've faced everything yet, but I've faced a bunch of things in myself that are not comfortable. They're not fun to look at. And growing your own Facebook group, you're going to be more public. Even if it's a private Facebook group like mine, you're still going to be public, and your flaws and mistakes are going to be out there for all to see, or at least somewhat for all to see. And you're going to feel exposed, and you're going to feel like, well, why are my mistakes so exposed? It's because, well, others are not going as public as you. But if you really want to step into 2024, you have to decide, I'm going to give it a year. I'm going to go all in. I'm going to be resilient. And it doesn't matter about the dog. It doesn't matter about sickness. If you show up, you're going to stand out. If you stand out, your message is going to get heard. If your message is getting heard, and we'll get into more things, and it's niche based, it's not you're trying to do this and this and this and this. There's a lot of people trying to do all these things in life that are outside of that one container. My container was empowerment. Empower Network TV, because I love networks. I love connecting people. And I love being someone that can be a positive catalyst imperfectly to help spin people up to what are they capable of? What could they be? What could they possibly become in 1 year? And TV, because, well, we're going to be getting a streaming service and have a whole network thing down the road by 2025. But for you, if you're prepared to be resilient, then in the comments, so I know I'm talking to you, please type all in. Type all in if you're all in for 2024 and you want to be resilient. And you're tired, either you're tired of not being resilient or you're tired of not giving a full year your best effort. Not that it's perfect, but that you show up no matter what. You show up to do the interviews that I'm going to teach you how to do. You show up to the events I'm going to show you how to do. You show up to do the commenting. You show up to the relationships. You just show up and you're going to stand out because you just show up. I think it was Wayne Gretzky said, or someone said, you miss 99% of the shots or whatever it is that you don't take. 2024 can be your year where you decide to take the shots, all the shots. Every darn day you take the shots. You show up and there's no excuses. And yeah, you don't always feel like it. So what? So what? How do you know how far you could go if you showed up for yourself with complete resilience? Imperfect, but complete resilience, committed to your path, so that everyone around you knows, wow, I've been watching Jenny or Jason for like 6 months. That's what I started hearing after 3 and 4 months. I can't believe you're doing this. Why are you working so hard? How do you do this every day? They're only asking you that. They're only asking me that because they're not doing it every day. Because they're not aware of how great they could be if they gave it their all. If there were zero excuses. How much time do we spend wasting on social media? Really, on watching Netflix? Are these things, well, maybe a small percentage of these things are making us better people? I try to live every year as if this is my last year, how do I want to go down? Because we all have had people that they're no longer here, so I'm going okay. Yes, I can go and spend my time on the beach and do this, but I just want to live sold out to why am I here? Because how I do today is how I do everything. How I show up in business is how I show up in friendship. And if I'm unwilling to be committed and resilient to what I do in one area of my life, it flipping bleeds over. And what good am I on the planet? I want to be someone that reminds people that you are capable of more. You are capable of becoming everything that you dream of, and it's up to us. It's up to you. It's up to me to step into that resiliency and to decide for myself. And some days it's hard. Some days I've felt frustrated. Some days I've felt very alone. And maybe I was alone. And maybe I was frustrated. Sometimes I felt like I was getting attacked on all sides. Maybe I was. I don't know, or was it just in my mind? Does it really matter? Am I going to be resilient? And so please on day 2, ask yourself, are you willing to be resilient at all costs? Because if you are, the world can be yours in 1 year. 1 year can set yourself up with such a foundation that your message can get amplified beyond what you believe it could get amplified currently today. And your second year, wow, now we're talking rocket ship. But you got to set your foundation, and your foundation is only set with resilience. There's concrete buildings over there. It reminds me of when I was in construction years ago, and I've told this story before. And when we were building the Olympic Village in Vancouver for the Olympics in whatever year it was, 2016 or whatever it was, 2010. We were in the Olympic Village, and now we were building the boardwalk. I was not the one building on the concrete stuff, but they had to go down like, I don't know, 60, 80 feet. And they were beneath ground for like almost a year. Those high skyscrapers have to go down. And they had to go into the mud and then start from 60 or 80 or 100 feet down and start laying that sucker. And that took resilience because it was cold, it was wet, it was gross, it was muddy. And yeah, there was hope because they were going week by week, new level, week by week, but still resilience. It all comes down to. And I have not arrived yet. I'm still learning to be resilient when I don't want to do this. When I feel like, why can't someone else do some of this work? Why do I have to do all this work? Oh, that's right. Because I believe I have a calling. I believe I have a mission. And God is not going to force it through me. I am not a robot. I have free will. And whatever your belief system is, if you have a calling and a purpose, then you first have to check in and decide to be resilient at all costs. And my friend, you will stand out if you're resilient. They may not like you, but they will admire what you've done. You don't need people to like you to be successful in your calling in life. You just need to get people's attention. And very few things get people's attention like resilience.